見よこの勇士。あいつの強さは魔界一。レッドアリーマー2ファミリーコンピューターで好評発売中。カプコン。
Cyberpunks and retro nerds out there, welcome back to another edition of Neon Trash. I'm your host, Tommy the Hammer. Today we're doing another tech talk with Tommy, and this time around we're going to be checking out one of my favorite Nintendo games from back in the day. This is called Gargoyle's Quest Part II, and it is the sequel to the old school retro Nintendo Game Boy game from even further back in the day, and they actually made a third game in this series for the Super Nintendo called Demon's Crest. Now this copy that I have right here is what they call a reproduction cart. I only got it for about $13, and I'd have to say, look at the quality on that. It looks just like the original cartridge. This game goes for an astronomical amount of money nowadays. I'm going to go ahead and buy something like this on AliExpress. So without further ado, guys, you're going to be coming with me the entire way. Liking it quite a bit all those years ago, and I gotta say, I still like it all these years later. This is definitely an ambitious action platformer RPG light. These developers really had some lofty goals, some lofty ambitions for such a old school system. Naturally, I'm familiar with the main character from the old Ghosts and Goblins Capcom game, but I think the fact that they've actually, given this character so much lore, who would have thought that the one little bastard from that game that can kill you practically in one go would be given so much backstory, would be given so many games. You think it's just a standard platformer, but it's not. There's so much more going on to this game, and it wants you to take each level slowly. It wants you to learn the patterns of the enemies. It wants you to learn how the character controls. I gotta admit, guys, I think it's so awesome that a website like AliExpress exists so I can get these games again. Like, I wasn't gonna sink hundreds of dollars on an original cart of Gargoyle's Quest II. Are you fucking insane? That is out of the question. And you know what, guys? I grew up with the old school Nintendo. I grew up playing this game. So, you know what? I want to play it again. I deserve to play it again. And those of us that grew up, rocking titles such as this way back in the day, it's just criminally insane to think that there are people just hoarding them for hundreds of dollars or jacking up the prices to just obscene numbers. That way nobody ever gets them. No one ever gets to experience them unless they're, using a computer and, running them through some sort of emulator or something like that. But for those of us that want the actual cartridge to plug right into our fucking Nintendo, that's the way to go. So I gotta give the company that did the reproduction cart here some credit, because this looks and plays and sounds just like I remember it. So is this a perfect game? Probably not. Some of the RPG elements to this game are slightly undercooked. Had they been even more ambitious, and this game is already pretty ambitious, they would have included a light turn-based element to the map system. Because as it goes, it feels like an RPG top-down when you're moving from village to village and other elements to the map system in this game. But it would have been awesome to have this kind of like turn-based element to those scenes. This is a brilliant game. This is a great 8-bit Nintendo game that is worthy of anyone's NES library. So if you've never played this game before and you're looking for some sort of like crown jewel to the NES library, definitely give this a look-see. I mean, it is awesome. It's colorful, it's got challenge, the music's pretty good, the characters are, monstrous and not as endearing as, say, like Final Fantasy or The Legend of Zelda. But if you want something that kind of comes at things from like a horror angle, where the main character is like this hideous gargoyle and all the other characters that you meet are like zombies and monsters and ghosts and weird shit like that. So guys, out of 10 stars, I think I could give Gargoyle's Quest II. I'm going high on this one. It's not my favorite game of all time, but it's a damn good one, especially for the 8-bit Nintendo. I'm going to be sitting at about an 8.5.